Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here today on WEKZ, AM 1260 and FM 95.5 for To The Point. Second session of the Greene County Leaders Program was held this week, and we're going to recap the action and find out a little bit about what their future leaders of Greene County have been up to. Mike Zwiefel, of course, back here on To The Point, and pleased to be joined here today. Let's start here to my left, your right, as you're listening on Radio Land. Who do we got here? Introduce yourself and where you work here.
My name is Alex Hahn. I work at Duckstead, Bessel, and McNaughton, a law firm located in Monroe.
All right, Alex. Well, thanks for coming aboard here. How long have you been in Monroe and with the law firm?
I actually just started in June 2022 with the law firm. I moved just off the square in Monroe a month later, so I'm fairly new to the area.
All right. Where'd you come from originally then?
I come from Columbus, Wisconsin. I have a few interactions with Monroe and Greene County previously, but I'm excited to be here now, and I've had a lot of fun in the last couple months and the last two sessions of Greene County Leaders as well.
All right. Just curious here. We'll get to your colleague in a second, but I'll ask you off the onset. How was it approached for you to join Greene County Leaders? Is this something you knew about? Maybe your bosses at the law firm said, hey, I'd like you to join this. Kind of how did that get kicked off for you?
Yeah, one of my bosses, Dan Bestel, he is an alum of Greene County Leaders, I believe, and he mentioned it to us. He thought it'd be a great idea. I didn't know they offered a program like this, but the opportunity to meet a lot of other young professionals, get some networking, and then just learn about the county, it was a really good opportunity, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
All right, you mentioned you're from Columbus, so you are kind of just getting your feet wet here for Monroe and Greene County. Did you taste up cheese days, that type of thing? Or
I saw a little bit of cheese days. I was shocked to see all the people in the downtown area. It's a really cool scene with the courthouse and everything, but it was a really good Americana experience. Too bad they only do it every other year, though. That was the disappointing thing.
Well, just wait. It'll be here before you know it. We'll get more with you, Alex. We thank you for coming aboard here this afternoon on the program. You didn't come alone, and actually you come from the same law firm here. Go introduce yourself here.
Yeah, good morning. My name's David Ewert, and I'm also an associate attorney at Duckstead, Bessel, and McNaughton. Alex and I started together in June. We both graduated in May from UW Law School, came down here to work.
All right, fantastic. So you're 2 sessions into Greene County Leaders. Just quickly about Greene County Leaders, did you have any inkling about this type of program, or is this kind of, what are we getting ourselves into?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either. Again, Dan Bestel told us about it and said that the firm would really support us if we chose to attend. And after looking into it a little bit, it seems like a really exciting way to get our feet wet in the county, get experience, learn who people are, who the movers and shakers are in the county, and really learn how to contribute to social life here and economic, and just be part of this great community.
All right. And you guys, you as well, David, much like Alex, but farther away. You're not from Greene County at all. Tell us a little bit about your backstory, where you're from.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in southwestern Minnesota in a rural farming community, not totally unlike Greene County, but grew up on a corn and soybean farm down there, and kind of been around the country a little bit before coming to law school in Madison. So.
All right. Well, glad to have you. Glad to have you part of Greene County Leaders, and of course, here part of our program here today on WEKZ. Let's talk a little bit about this session you guys just had. It was on Wednesday. Where'd you guys kind of start your day off of, and kind of what was the theme to start off your session here this past week, Wednesday?
We started at the Monroe Arts Center, which is a beautiful facility. I had not been there before, and I really want to go back after seeing it. And the focus on Wednesday was really on creative leadership. We started with the Wisconsin idea and kind of how education can drive progress in this state, and how creativity can kind of be a big part of that. And then we heard from a lot of really great speakers talking about creative leadership and how to foster creativity in your team. And we focus on a lot of different ways you can do that as a leader.
Okay. What were some of the speakers that you guys had a chance to listen to?
Yeah, we heard from Mike Sanders, who's the managing partner of 1,100 Partners, or 1,100 Partners, not sure how he says it. He talked about leadership for vibrant communities, what it looks like for a community to just be engaged and really take off and support itself and thrive.
Anybody else you guys remember from Wednesday?
Yeah, Kathy Hennessy is the executive director of the Monroe Arts Center, and Kevin Callahan is the president of their board of directors. And we heard a lot from them about how volunteer work in a community can drive creativity, and also how you have to have a vision. And it's really good in terms of your vision to have a blank canvas, and they both talked about how the Monroe Arts Center has provided them and other people involved with it with a really good opportunity to both volunteer and develop creativity and foster creativity. And if you look at how that developed, just an old church and what they've turned it into, it really is a testament to how creativity can really take things a long ways.
Of course, we're talking arts and kind of just the arts in general. The blank canvas is such a big piece in terms of how they get their finished product. And you guys, kind of in your law firms, when you guys are there, kind of a blank canvas that quickly gets filled up. So kind of a different perspective there for you guys to take a look at. What was your kind of takeaway when you heard that aspect? Kind of starting with a blank canvas, where you guys are kind of starting with facts and with kind of lingo type of deal.
Yeah, sometimes it's more fun when you don't have anything on the canvas, but it's also, in our line of work, I think it's very interesting and fun even to take what you have and try to change it. And the law gives you an opportunity to do that, and the facts give you an opportunity to do that. And I think learning from someone with an arts background, like Kathy Hennessy, you can really take that and insert it into your work. We actually heard in law school from a judge who talked about, he had a film background, and he talked about how everyone pictures things two-dimensionally on paper. You think about how the facts work together on paper. But if you can put things three-dimensionally, if you can try to see things, different ways, how this interacts with this, that can really help you to change your perspective, potentially come up with a new idea to get out of a situation, a new solution to a dispute. And it just goes to show you that looking at things the way they've always been looked at, it limits you. But if you can take things from a different perspective, you can be a lot more unlimited. And that's really the key to creative leadership.
So you guys are pretty creative. You give the lawyers a little more respect here for their creativity then?
We try. And piggybacking on what Alex just said, like creative leadership or creative lawyering, creative community building is really vital to be able to speak to a diverse community, to be able to get your point across to not just the people who think like you or have the same educational background as you, and really to create buy-in from all the important and relevant parties. You have to be able to present what your perspective is. You have to be able to argue and advocate for your positions and really for your community.
We're pleased to be joined here today, David Ewert as well as Alex Zahn. They're both with the Greene County leaders here in the class of 2023 here in 2022 through 2023 with Duckstad, Beschel, and McNaughton Law Firm here. Not far here from just downtown Monroe here on the Showcase studio here today for To The Point. Also understand, David, I'll kind of direct this one at you to start, I guess. You guys had your first interaction, your first kind of delving into the project here for Greene County leaders. Every class has a project. You guys kind of kicked that off here, it sounds like, on Wednesday.
That's right. We've learned a lot about some of the prior projects that past Greene County leaders have done, some really impressive stuff from the splash pad to prescription drug drop boxes. And on Wednesday, we had the opportunity to kind of look at some of the projects that were available to us for this session. And we kind of have a rough outline of what we're going to be doing and what some of the other smaller teams of leaders that break out into these groups to do these projects that should benefit the county and the community in truly interesting and fascinating ways.
All right, let's first start with what are kind of the rough sketches here? What are you guys kind of looking at for a project this year?
Yeah, Alex and I are on the same team actually, and ours has to do with electric vehicle charging and helping, looking into what kind of infrastructure can be and should be put in place, and looking into funding sources, location, feasibility, that kind of thing.
Is that a grand scheme project, or is that kind of a small piece? I guess I would. Is that the big project goal, or is this kind of the?
I mean, I don't want to limit us. I think that we want to be as big and we want to impact as much change and positive change for the community as we can. I think initially it is just about starting with the small steps and trying to build. I'm really optimistic. I heard a lot of really good things about funding available. I think we can have a really positive impact with this. But the really cool thing about this project is I don't even know how much we can do, because that's how much support is available. I had no idea what you could actually get to put these types of things into the community, like electric vehicle charger, that type of thing. But we had some really good people at the meeting that were able to tell us, look, there's a lot of funding available. So I think initially we maybe had a smaller scope, and now we're kind of realizing we could really take this a long ways. So I'm really excited about it.
So you guys are kind of really taking that creativity aspect here, not knowing exactly kind of a blank canvas here. I mean, just based on what you guys have said, it's kind of blank here for you guys. What kind of impact you guys can make?
Yeah, and kind of again piggybacking on what Alex was saying, the value of these electric chargers is not necessarily so much for and we're probably looking at Monroe for these chargers at least at first. But looking at the value, it's not so much about the residents of Monroe who have electric chargers or electric cars, but it's the people who are coming to our community with these electric cars to have a place where they can charge while they're shopping and contributing to the economy. Being it's a concern for people driving electric cars to not have that.
So you're kind of giving an opportunity for folks that have that vehicle now a reason to come to Monroe or Greene County then,
or at least to make it feasible for them to do so when it might not otherwise be with an electric car.
Okay, so you mentioned you guys are on the same team. Roughly how many different teams are there to make kind of this project work here?
I would say at least 5 or 6 different, not for our project, just projects in general,
right?
Because there's a lot of different projects. We just have the one team for our project.
Okay.
Yeah, and teams
7, it looks like
7.
Yeah.
And teams the smaller teams are 3 people up to, I think one team had 7.
Fantastic. So you guys got quite the project goal here. Can't wait to find out more as we progress here throughout the Greene County Leaders. As we kind of move along here to the back half of our chat here today, it's crazy how much time flies when I learn about what you guys are doing, being a Greene County alum myself. What was kind of I want a big takeaway from each of you and something that really surprised you. Alex, you want to go first here? What was kind of your biggest takeaway of the day?
Yeah, I would say my biggest takeaway of the day was just getting into creative leadership and learning about it and learning about the impact it can make. I mean, if you can change people's perspectives about what can be accomplished, you can contribute to their humanity in the richest way possible. I mean, you can improve their vision and their hope for the future. And that's something I never thought about the way that I do now, because you just learn about how important certain things can be to creativity and helping you to foster creativity in your team. And that's huge in a leadership role. Something that surprised me was the improv session we did at the end of the day. I was terrified of improv to start. And first of all, the leader of the improv session, Jessica Beckendorf, she was amazing. She made it very fun for everyone. It was not very scary after all, but it's really good for leadership. We actually learned about this concept called yes and, where you try to build off what people have done instead of limiting it. And that actually started as an improv concept. You accept the reality that the participants have given you and you build off that. You make it unlimited. Whereas if you approach things with more of a no but perspective, you limit people. So that really helped my perspective on creative leadership, trying to make people unlimited.
So we got an improv class here, improv group going to be starting then here? Or?
It'd be interesting. You learn a lot.
Let's start with you. Let's start with a big surprise for you, David. Let's start that aspect from you. What was a big surprise for you on Wednesday?
My biggest surprise was honestly the Monroe Arts Center. How impressed I was with the facility, with the art there, with the vision that the leadership at the Monroe Arts Center has for the community. Tying that into one of the things we talked about in our sessions was third place. The first place being home, second place being work, but a third place being somewhere in the community where people can gather to exchange ideas, to have a safe space where they can connect with each other and just really build that sense of community. And I think Monroe Arts Center is a great example of that, and especially with some of the exciting things that they have coming on the horizon, that the vision that that Kathy in particular has just for expanding the scope of the MAC in this community and what it can do. So
when you think about third place, think of growing up back in Southwest Minnesota. Is there a place that resembles third place for you then back home?
Yeah. Sometimes it would just be the park, hanging out with other kids growing up, but it could be, I guess for me, a third place was often basketball games. That's where I would go and hang out with people and spend this safe time where I'd connect with the community. I guess any sporting events really, but that was a big part of it. As I think about my later life, Sometimes that could be a bar where you go to meet people and connect with your community. It could be a community center or a library, but there's a lot of great third places here in our community already.
I'm glad you just didn't say the hay mow back home growing up there on the farm. So I'm glad you said that. Finally here, we'll kind of close with this then. David, what are you most looking forward to going forward here?
I'm really looking forward to delving deeply into our EV charger project. I think we have a great group of people who are excited about the project, and we have some really great community partners that we think can help us move the project along. So I think that's what I'm most looking forward to.
All right. Same question for you, Alex. So most looking forward to?
Yeah, I guess I would take a big picture perspective on this. You hear a lot about problems in communities, and we've talked about problems in Greene County during Greene County Leaders. But what I really love about this program is we're focused on solutions and how can we all make a positive change and kind of impact these solutions going forward. So I just look forward to working with everyone in the class to kind of take this unlimited view of Greene County and make a positive impact.
All right, fantastic. Hey, guys, thanks so much for coming aboard here. Sounds like you guys are off to a great start with Greene County Leaders. And for both of you, welcome to Greene County yourselves and with your positions there at Duckstad, Benchville, and McNaughton. Thanks for coming in here today.
Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, David Ewert, Alex Zahn, our guest here today from Greene County Leaders. Talk a little bit about their latest session they just had on Wednesday, and we'll continue to follow along here as Greene County Leaders 2022 to 2023 continues their journey.